Recording in progress.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishnapreshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshetarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Śrī Vyāsadeva Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay, so we last time completed verse number 2. So verse number 2 spoke mainly about the glories of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So just we will take a quick look at it so that we don't forget. And you can see here how the glories of Bhagavatam are described here. That completely rejecting all religious activities which are material motivated, this Bhagavad Puran propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. So it is a process also to purify us. It's not that somebody needs to be pure only then they can understand Bhagavatam. So that this is first one point. Then highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for welfare of all. So that's what Bhagavatam does, that it presents the highest truth, and such truth uproots the threefold miseries, right? So this is such a big point, because anytime we can see that we are surrounded by these threefold miseries around us: Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik and Adi Daivik. This beautiful Bhagavatam compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity is sufficient in itself for God realization. So this is another important point. What is the need for any other scripture? That's very attractive point. As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. Right? Such a nice, like it's a like a, the marketing ad of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, that when we understand the glories of a product, then we get attracted to, have it. So similarly, this is Vyasadeva's mercy on all of us and blessings, that he is telling us that what Bhagavatam is going to give you. And from this verse, we can see that it is the ultimate thing, because it will propound the highest truth. And we all want truth. We want truth in our relationships. We want truth in our own selves. We want to be truthful to ourselves, right? Whenever we do something wrong, or whenever we know the what should have been done and we do something else, then we feel very sad about it, or somebody else does something else which is other than truth, falsity, then we feel sad about it, falsity of relationships and all that. So in one sense, we all are looking for truth, and highest truth is basically the purest love also, right? So this is very, very important verse which is telling us that why we should read Bhagavatam and what is there in this Bhagavatam, right? So there is no need of any other scripture if we are sincerely and submissively hearing the message of Bhagavatam. Only this is sufficient. So with that, we will move on with the verse 3 today. निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकः. So please note, we will be reading word to word as well, and if you would like, if you so desire, you can maintain a notebook also, because this is our opportunity that we are going verse by verse and purport by purport. So Prabhupada gives really, gems and jewels here. So many analogies are there, so many very great understandings are there. So if your time permits and if you so desire, then you can maintain a notebook to just note from the purport, like few lines, whatever has touched your heart. And at the end of the session, you can share those also with all of us, so that we also feel encouraged and nourished and enriched, because everybody has a different perspective. So that will be really nice if at all that is possible. So Nigama is Vedic literatures. Kalpataro, the desired tree. Like we say, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha, right? So Vaishnavas are like desired tree. They fulfill all our desires some or the other way. Galitam, fully matured. Phalam, fruit. Shuka, Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī, the original speaker of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Mukhat, from the lips of. Amrita, nectar. Drava, semi-solid and soft and therefore easily swallowable. Samyutam, perfect in all respects. Pibata, do relish it. Bhagavatam, the book dealing in the science of eternal relation with the Lord. Rasam, juice, that which is relishable. Alayam, until liberation or even in a liberated condition. Muhu, always. Aho, oh. Rasika, those who are full in knowledge of mellows. Bhuvi, on the earth. Bhavukaha, expert and thoughtful. And yeah, just like last time, if anybody wants to read, they can keep their hands raised so I will know and then I can call. Okay, so translation. O expert and thoughtful men. So this is for all of us, not only men or women, but it's like in general. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. So it is highest, topmost. The mature fruit of desire tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Śrī Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Right? So, all of us are being called as expert and thoughtful. Right? And why? Because we had the desire to read Bhagavatam. That's why we are thoughtful. Right? Expert, I am not sure why it is saying expert also in one sense that we have approached the topmost thing. That's why we know that what is best for us. So in that sense also, this is a possibility. And this is mature fruit of desire tree of Vedic literature. So all the Vedas have, many sections. Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda. So they are all like, for self-upliftment. But of all that, the Bhagavatam is topmost, the mature fruit. And since it came from lips of Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī, so it has become even more tasteful. Why? Because he was already liberated soul, Śukadeva Gosvāmī. So he didn't come out of the womb of his mother until 17 years because he was so afraid of Maya that he didn't want to come into material world. But then on the instruction of Krishna, he came, right? And then he was just leaving everything, and he was just going into the forest because he was a Jnani Bhakta. He was a Jnani actually. So then Vyasadeva sent his disciples with the Bhagavatam verses behind him, such beautiful verses from 10th canto that it attracted Shukadeva Goswami's heart. So although he was liberated, completely liberated, but even the liberated souls get attracted by Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So it is coming from lips of Shukadeva Goswami, such an exalted personality. And although so it has become more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Yeah, so Seema Mataji, you can read and then Prabhu can take over.
Purport. In the two previous shloka, Mataji,
Oh, Shilpi Mataji,
can you
sorry.
present?
Seema Mataji and then Shilpi Mataji, yes.
In
Yeah,
the two
purport
previous
by Srila
shlokas,
Prabhupada.
Mataji, my voice is echoing, right?
Oh, I'm really sorry. That is from my side. That's problematic.
In the two previous shlokas, it has been definitely proved that the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the sublime literature which surpasses all other Vedic scriptures due to its transcendental qualities. It is transcendental to all mundane activities and mundane knowledge. In this shloka, it is stated that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is not only a superior literature but is the ripened fruit of all Vedic literatures. In other words, it is a cream of all Vedic knowledge. Considering all this, patient and submissive hearing is definitely essential. With great respect and attention, one should receive the message and lessons imparted by the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. The Vedas are compared to the desire tree because they contain all things knowable by man. They deal with mundane necessities as well as spiritual realization. The Vedas contain regulative principle of knowledge covering social, political, religious, economic, military, medicinal, chemical, physical, and metaphysical subject matter, and all that may be necessary to keep the body and soul together. Above and beyond all this are specific direction for spiritual realization. Regulative knowledge involves a gradual raising of the living entity to the spiritual platform. And the highest spiritual realization is knowledge that the personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all spiritual taste or rasas. Every living entity, beginning from Brahma, the firstborn living being within the material world, down to the insignificant ant, desire to relish some sort of taste derived from sense perceptions. These sensual pleasures are technically called rasas. Such rasas are of different varieties. In the revealed scriptures, the following 12 varieties of rasas are enumerated: Rodra, anger; Adbhuta, wonder; uh, Shringara, conjugal love; Hasya, comedy; Veera, chivalry; Daya, mercy; Dasya, servitorship; Sakha, fraternity; Bhayanaka, horror; Vibhasata, shock; Santa, neutrality; Vatsalya, parenthood. The sum total of
Yeah,
all
so
these
it is Vibhatsa and Shanta.
Vibhatsa Shanta. The sum total of all these rasas is called affection or love. Primarily, such signs of love are manifested in adoration, service, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love. And when these five are absent, love is present indirectly in anger, wonder, comedy, chivalry, fear, shock, and so on. For example, when a man is in love with a woman, the rasa is called conjugal love. But when such love affairs are disturbed, there may be wonder, anger, shock, or even horror. Sometimes love affairs between two persons culminate in ghastly murder scenes. Such rasas are displayed between man and between animal and animal. There is no possibility of an exchange or rasa between a man and an animal or between a man and any other species of living beings within the material world. The rasas are exchanged between members of the same species. But as far as the spirit souls are concerned, they are the one qualitatively with the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the rasas were originally exchanged between the spiritual living being and the spiritual whole, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The spiritual exchange or rasa is fully exhibited in spiritual existence between living beings and the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is therefore described in the Shruti mantras, Vedic hymns, as the fountainhead of all rasas. When one associates with the Supreme Lord and exchanges one's constitutional rasa with the Lord, then the living being is actually happy. These Shruti mantras indicate that every living being has its constitutional position, which is endowed with a particular type of rasa to be exchanged with the personality of Godhead. In the liberated condition only, this primary rasa is experienced in full. In the material existence, the rasa is experienced in the perverted form, which is temporary, and thus the rasas of the material world are exhibited in the material form of Rodra, and so on. Therefore, one who attains full knowledge of these different rasas, which are the basic principle of activities, can understand the false representations of the original rasas, which are reflected in the material world. The learned scholar seeks to relish the real rasa in the spiritual form. In the beginning, he desires to become one with the Supreme. Thus, less intelligent transcendentalists cannot go beyond this conception of becoming one with the spirit whole without knowing of the different rasas. In this shloka, it is definitely stated that spiritual rasa, which is relished even in the liberated stage, can be experienced in the literature of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam due to its being the ripened fruit of all Vedic knowledge. By submissively hearing this transcendental literature, one can attain the full pleasure of his heart's desire, but one must be very careful to hear the message from the right source. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is exactly received from the right source. It was brought by Nārada Muni from the spiritual world and given to his disciple Śrī Vyāsadeva. The latter in turn delivered the message to his son Śrīla
Yeah,
Śukadeva Gosvāmī and
disciple.
Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī delivered the message to Mahārāja Parīkṣit just 7 days before the king's death. Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī was a liberated soul from his very birth. He was liberated even the womb of his mother, and he didn't undergo any sort of spiritual training after his birth. At birth, no one is qualified, neither in the mundane nor in the spiritual sense. But Sri Sukadeva Goswami, due to his being a perfectly liberated soul, didn't have to undergo an evolutionary process for his spiritual realization. Yet, despite his being a completely liberated person situated in the transcendental position above the three material modes, he was attracted to this transcendental rasa of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is adored by liberated souls who sing Vedic hymns. The Supreme Lord's pastime are more attractive to liberated souls than to mundane people. He is of necessity not impersonal because it is only possible to carry on transcendental rasa with the person. In the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are narrated, and the narration is systematically depicted by Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Thus, the subject matter is appealing to all classes of persons, including those who seek liberation and those who seek to become one with the Supreme Whole. In Sanskrit, the parrot is also known as sukha. When a ripened fruit is cut by the red beaks of such birds, its sweet flavor is enhanced. The Vedic fruit, which is mature and ripe in knowledge, is spoken through the lips of Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī, who is compared to the parrot not for his ability to recite the Bhagavatam exactly as he heard it from his learned father, but for his ability to present the work in a manner that would appeal to all classes of men. The subject matter is so presented through the lips of Srila Sukadeva Goswami that any sincere listeners that hear submissively can at once relish transcendental tastes which are distinct from the perverted taste of the material world. The ripened fruit is not dropped all of a sudden from the highest planet of Krishnaloka. Rather, it has come down carefully through the chain of disciplic succession without change or disturbance. Foolish people who are not in the transcendental disciplic succession commit great blunders by trying to understand the highest transcendental rasa, known as the rasa dance, without following in the footsteps of Sukadev Goswami, who present this fruit very carefully by stages of transcendental realization. One should be intelligent enough to know the position of Srimad-Bhāgavatam by considering personalities like Sukadev Goswami, who deals with the subject so carefully. This process of disciplic succession of the Bhagavad school suggests that in the future also Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam has to be understood from a person who is factually a representative of Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī, a professional man who makes a business out of reciting the Bhagavatam illegally is certainly not a representative of Sukadeva Goswami. Such a man's business is only to earn his livelihood. Therefore, one should refrain from hearing the lectures of such professional men. Such men usually go to the most confidential part of the literature without undergoing the gradual process of understanding this grave subject. They usually plunge into the subject matter of rasa dance, which is misunderstood by the foolish class of men. Some of them take this to be immoral, while others try to cover it up by their own stupid interpretations. They have no desire to follow in the footsteps of Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī. One should conclude, therefore, that the serious student of the rasa should receive the message of Bhagavatam in the chain of disciplic succession from Śrīla Śukadeva Goswami, who describes the Bhagavatam from its very beginning and not whimsically to satisfy the mundaner who has very little knowledge in transcendental science. Srimad-Bhagavatam is so carefully presented that a sincere and a serious person can at once enjoy the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge simply by drinking the nectarian juice through the mouth of Sukadev Goswami or his bona fide representative.
Yeah, very nice, Mataji. So, just a few points that this Bhagavatam is cream of Vedic knowledge, right? So, we learned that in the translation as well. And it requires submissive hearing that Prabhupada is emphasizing again and again. So, what that meant was that submissive means what? That we have faith. Although we may not understand at this point what it is saying, some things might be technical, complicated, something, and maybe we won't be able to understand it 100% because there is we couldn't understand the explanation also, but still keeping a faith that words of Bhagavatam are right, even though at this point I am not able to understand them. Okay, so that's submissive. So whenever we put a question, not in a challenging way means what? I already know the correct answer, I am just testing you, or how is that possible? I don't believe in this. This kind of attitude is like challenging attitude, and Krishna knows the core of our heart. So whenever we approach through pride or challenge, that concept is not gonna sit with us. We will not be able to understand it. So therefore we have to, all these subtle things have to be approached very, very submissively. Okay, with like most of us know Hindi here. So Vinamra Bhav. Then 12 kinds of rasas Prabhupada has discussed, and when the combination of all the rasas equals love, and you might wonder that how anger and this fear, all these are parts of rasa. So I heard from my Guru Mahārāja, I was also asking him this question, and he said that love is wholesome. It is not like, it's not like it is lesser in some sense that, oh, it cannot include anger or it cannot include fear or all those kind of things, because he explained that Vrajavasis had fear when Kaliya was coiling Krishna in his coils, and he was just tightening the coils. So that time they had intense fear. So that was also rasa for Krishna, right? So all these, even these secondary rasas, they can be for Krishna, and they aid to the primary rasas. So 5 are primary rasas, which are friendship, conjugal love, and neutral rasa, and dasya, and one more is there. So those are 5 primary, and rest 7 are secondary rasas. But all of them together make love actually toward Krishna, or Krishna's love toward a devotee. So rasa is possible between members of same species, not like today's world, which is very, very perverted. You know what Prabhupada meant, like it's very perverted. The meaning of love is completely perverted. Now 2 different species are trying to combine, unite. So, and this is just so like dark age of Kali, and we are equal in quality with Krishna, because because we are same species. How? I told you that in quality we are same as Krishna, Sat, Chit and Ananda. In quantity we are very less. So that's why we can share rasa with Krishna, because we are also spiritual and Krishna is also transcendental. And we should hear from the right sources. This also has been emphasized by Prabhupada very, very importantly, that it should be, the knowledge should come in proper disciplic succession. It's like a knowledge not falling from a tree like a fruit, but it is passed on very carefully from one source to another. So Guru Shishya, that kind of parampara is there. Because nowadays on YouTube, you just start the YouTube and anybody would be speaking about Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So we need to be very careful from where we are hearing. And then Śukadeva Gosvāmī was already liberated, so he has made this Bhagavatam more appealing or more relatable to the people in general. So relatability is very important, that people are interested to know what is in it for me, what is of my interest, right? So this Bhagavatam covers every class of men. Okay, so these are all very beautiful points about this purport. And this verse is an invitation to all to relish Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Okay, so that is our final destination of bhakti, that we start relishing. We get so plunged into Bhagavatam that nothing else is important for us. Right now we feel, oh, this is my responsibility, I should do this, do that, do this, do that. But ultimately what? Once we get a plunge into this Bhagavatam and we get completely attached to Bhagavatam, then Krishna anyways is maintaining us, so why not, he will maintain us. But yeah, it will take some time because we need to purify. So let's move on to text 4. So it is very small, and I guess, the purport is, still we can do it in 5 minutes. So Shilpi Mataji, if you are ready, I'll just read the verse. So fourth, Naimishe animishe nimisha kshetre rishayah shaunakadayah Satram Swargaya Lokaya Sahasra Samamasata. Naimisha, in the forest known as Naimisharanya, Animisha Kshetre, the spot which is specially a favorite of Vishnu, who does not close his eyelids. Animisha means who doesn't blink his eyes. Rashayah, sages, Shaunaka. So you see here is a small mark above the S. It makes it Sh. And there will be a below also sometimes, so that will be Shatkonsha, and this is Shakkarsha. So there two shas are there in Hindi. Shaunak Adaya, when you will see a bar above a letter, then it is a long pronunciation of that. So it is all written in Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita towards the end. These grammatical things are also taught by Prabhupada. Shaunaka Adaya, headed by the sage Shaunaka. Satram, sacrifice. Swargaya, the Lord who is glorified in heaven. Lokaya, and for the devotees who are always in touch with the Lord. Sahasra, 1000. Samam, years. Asata, performed. Yeah, Mataji, please read translation and purport.
Translation. Once in a holy place in the forest of Naimisharanya, great sages headed by the sage Shaunaka assembled to perform a great 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord and his devotees. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The prelude of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was spoken in the previous 3 shlokas. Now the main topic of this great literature is being presented. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, after its first recitation by Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī, was repeated for the second time at Naimisharanya. In the Vayavya Tantra, it is said that Brahma, the engineer of this particular universe, contemplated a great wheel which could enclose the universe. The hub of this great circle was fixed at a particular place known as Naimisharanya. Similarly, there is another reference to the forest of Naimisharanya in the Varaha Purana, where it is stated that by performance of sacrifice at this place, the strength of demoniac people is curtailed. Thus, Brahmanas prefer Naimisharanya for such sacrificial performances. The devotee of Lord Vishnu offer all kind of sacrifices for his pleasure. The devotees are always attached to the service of the Lord, whereas fallen souls are attached to the pleasure of material existence. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that anything performed in the material world for any reason other than for the pleasure of the Lord Vishnu causes further bondage for the performer. It is enjoined, therefore, that all acts must be performed sacrificially for the satisfaction of Vishnu and his devotees. This will bring everyone peace and prosperity. The great sages are always anxious to do good to the people in general, and as such the sages headed by Shaunika and other assembled at this holy place of Naimisharanya with a program of performing a great and continuous chain of sacrificial ceremonies. Forgetful men do not know the right path for peace and prosperity. However, the sages know it well, and therefore, for the good of all men, they are always anxious to perform acts which may bring about peace in the world. They are sincere friends to all living entities, and at the risk of great personal inconvenience, they are always engaged in the service of the Lord for the good of all people. Lord Vishnu is just like a great tree, and all others, including the demigods, men, siddhas, charanas, Vidyadharas and other living entities are like branches, twigs, and leaves of that tree. By pouring water on the root of the tree, all the parts of the tree are automatically nourished. Only those branches and leaves which are detached cannot be so satisfied. Detached branches and leaves dry up gradually despite all watering attempts. Similarly, human society, when it is detached from the personality of Godhead, like detached branches and leaves, is not capable of being watered, and one attempting to do so is simply wasting his energy and resources. The modern materialistic society is detached from its relation to the Supreme Lord, and all its plans, which are being made by atheistic leaders, are sure to be baffled at every step. Yet, they do not wake up to this. In this age, the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the prescribed method for waking up. The ways and means are most scientifically presented by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. An intelligent person may take advantage of his teachings in order to bring about real peace and prosperity. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is also presented for the same purpose, and this will be explained more specifically later in the text. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So, yeah, this verse is actually now we saw the first three verses were prelude to whole of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, first verse spoke about the glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Second verse spoke about the glories of this Bhagavatam. And third verse was an invitation to all of the people of this world to come and read Srimad Bhagavatam, because the juice is so nectarian and it is already like it's like ripened fruit, so you don't have to make any much efforts. Just drink and drink, right? Read and hear. So now from the fourth verse, here we are Vyasadeva is setting a scene when the sages of Naimisharanya actually came at the place called Naimisharanya to perform 1,000-year sacrifice for the people of age of Kali, because they saw that how this Kali is going to affect the people very adversely, right? So why did they choose Naimisharanya? Here Prabhupada is saying that Brahma had contemplated a great wheel which could enclose the universe. So the hub of that wheel was in Naimisharanya. And also another reference is what? That it is stated that by performance of sacrifice at this place, the strength of demoniac people is curtailed. So now also Naimisharanya is a beautiful place of pilgrimage and people go. And there is this tree also under which Parīkṣit Mahārāja and Śukadeva Gosvāmī were sitting. Okay, so also this whole assembly of Suta Goswami and the sages of Naimisharanya, who were headed by the name Shaunaka Rishi. Okay, so they all were assembled there. And then Prabhupada is also saying that how the devotees are always thinking about the welfare of people. Therefore, they are doing a lot of sacrifice, like these sages. They are giving their time. They are ready to, engage in the sacrifice for thousands of years for betterment of people of Kali Yuga. So you will see like devotees will sacrifice their time, their money, or something to, for the welfare of people in general, right? And also Prabhupada said very important thing, that Lord Vishnu is like a tree and all other living entities are like twigs and branches and leaves. So we should water the root. Okay, we are generally like, thinking, oh, they are my relatives, they are my this. So that's why I should serve them. But actually everything should be done as a sacrifice to Lord Vishnu. That is mentioned in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. If other than sacrifice to Lord Vishnu we do something, then it is binding, it is karmic. Either it will be good karma or bad karma, but you have to come back to get a result, good or bad. But if we don't want to come back into this miserable material world, therefore every act we should perform for satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. So it becomes a offering in the sacrifice, right? It is a constant yajna for us, that whatever we are doing, even our prescribed duties, we should offer it to Lord Vishnu. So we will read from the 5th next time. So we have 3 minutes if anybody wants to share something.
Mataji, you said that hub of the wheel is Naimisharanya. I didn't understand that wheel part which Nārada Muni said.
Yeah, so Lord Brahma had contemplated a wheel of the whole universe, and there needs to be some center point. Okay, so that's what it is being mentioned, that Brahma, the engineer of this particular universe, contemplated a great wheel which could enclose the universe. So this was a design that Brahma was thinking, and he thought that the hub or the center of this universe will be Naimisharanya. Okay, and so it is scientific also somehow. Maybe I will need to research more on that. But that universal wheel is going to balance the whole universe, and the center will be in Naimisharanya. So it has a very scientific importance also. But yeah, I can find out more details on this.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Anything else? Okay, so we will meet next time, and I think Wednesday. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Madhuri, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See you on Wednesday. Hari Bol.
No,
Hare
Madhuri.
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I know
Madhuri.
you are leaving, but this meeting is gonna end soon. I know you are leaving for India. Your mom told.
Yeah. I'll see you now online.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.